All right.
Hello, hello.
Hi, guys. Oh my gosh, it's so nice to see you.
It's good to see you too. I feel like Sarah and I have been trying for ages to get a split screen or something going. It seems to be.
Yeah, right. We've been trying. I think the whole industry has been like dreaming and scheming and just like, oh, wouldn't it be so great if we could do this? And then you know what? Desperate times call for desperate measures. So here we are.
They made it happen.
Yeah. Eli, I've got you on your side.
Here,
Yes,
do this.
I do too. Oh yeah, perfect.
Amazing.
Okay, so landscape does not work with
the phone. Yeah,
it does because I'm on landscape right now, but I have to do it opposite of what I usually do for YouTube.
With the phone. Yeah,
it does.
Oh, this is exciting.
For some reason, when I'm on YouTube, I have my camera on my right side, but for Zoom, I have to flip it to my left side to have the landscape.
Oh,
otherwise I'm upside down.
You know what? It has been all of our friends that are tuning in. Hi, guys. It has been a learning curve with all the technology because there's so many there's so much tech out there available to us so that we can do cool things like this. But when you implement something new, that means you have to allow yourself time to learn it. And all
there's always a learning curve.
Everything. It's just like technology, jewelry making. Give ourselves that grace.
Kristen, it's great to see you too. I feel like I speak to you daily almost, like, or at least weekly, like via email or text or something, but to actually see you face to face is quite nice. It's been a while.
It's really nice. I know we rarely get to ever see each other face to face. So this is awesome. I'm so excited to be here with everybody.
I agree. That's what I was just saying earlier when I was doing the little intro to this call, to this hang that we were going to be doing, is that, you know, us friends in the industry, we only see each other face to face like a couple times a year. So I almost feel like quarantine has brought us closer together because we're getting to see each other, like we're getting to see each other's faces a little bit more.
For sure. Yeah, I feel that way with some of my family too, because I live far from most of my family and we can never get our schedules together. And now I'm like, I've talked to my sisters and my cousins more the last month than probably in the last few years. So that's been an interesting blessing to be able to connect with people.
I agree.
For sure. Well, it's like you said, Sarah, earlier, that I think things have sort of forced us in a way to like communicate differently. And I will say that I've never been as close to even my coworkers, and we all sit next to each other, but we never really talk. And now we're forced to do, you know, like touch base and do meetings and stuff throughout the week. And so it's a different style of communication that I think has again forced us to be closer together.
They say with long distance relationships that people that are doing the distance thing, you actually end up talking more because you're forced to like communicate, call, speak, you know? So I feel like with us being apart from each other and not being able to see our loved ones as much, if you care to see them and speak to them, then you know you can end up spending a little bit more time. That's what kind of relationship you have.
It's so true.
I feel that way, that I've seen friends and family a little bit more now.
That is how my husband and I got together. We started dating and then he moved to Arizona like 2 months in. And so we spent 8 months long distance from New York to Arizona. And I always say, I feel like that solidified our relationship more than anything else because we had to talk to each other like about all sorts of things in a way that we never probably would have face to face. And so, yeah, it's just a different communication and we get to be here with everybody. This is awesome.
Yay.
And we get to be here with you guys, all of our fans.
Yeah.
Check in really quick. Got Laurie Wooten, Sheesh Mosher's here, Carolyn, Terry,
Oh,
hi
hi.
Nancy, Mimi, MJ, Kit Chisper. She says, what a great
Yay.
collaboration. I agree. I like this. So today, guys, we have a special treat for you. Jesse James Beads send Kristen Fagan from Softflex and Nilay Patel from the amazing SilverSilk some new Jesse James bead strands. So the task for these two amazing designers is to come up with something cool using products from their company, Softflex and SilverSilk respectively. Pair that with the Jesse James beads and just give you guys a little bit of inspiration for your Thursday evening. TGIAF. Almost right.
Yes, they're so
I love it.
pretty.
Yes,
They are super,
so beautiful.
super pretty.
Awesome. Yeah, we also have a sale on strands tonight. We just popped this one up like literally an hour ago or 2 hours ago. 10% off strands with the code FRIENDS10. So if you like what you're seeing made here, you can grab the strand online from Jesse James. And if you like the SilverSilk or the Softflex, then I implore you to go check out these amazing small businesses and show them a little love as well.
Sweet. I'm excited to design with you guys.
Me
Yeah, these are
too.
beautiful. Such
Absolutely
a
gorgeous.
pretty color for spring too. I just absolutely love it.
Mhm.
That's what I'm feeling. I don't know about you guys, but we are having some rainy spring weather here in the Northeast.
Ugh.
Like, it has been whipping wind, and now it's raining really hard. But it's supposed to be beautiful this weekend, so just
You had a storm. You had a storm this week, I think, too, Nilay, didn't you?
Yeah, we are in tornado season, and so I just like I've not really like been alarmed or anything since living in Oklahoma about tornadoes in general. We're like the type of people that like, ooh, a tornado, we're gonna go sit out on our porch and look for it.
And I'm
So
like, tornadoes,
it
oh my
really
God,
doesn't phase
take cover.
And my neighbors
We're
have a
just
basement, so
hot.
if we're truly in any danger, like we're covered. And I know all my neighbors, it's great. But yeah, we, you know, for me, it's like I'm glad we had a storm because I was able to. And as I'm talking to you guys, I'm gonna try and figure out how to flip my camera. I don't know if that's even possible.
Yeah,
Oh, it is.
You can flip your camera, and then you can. We'll let you have the floor first.
Let's see.
Sweet. Yeah, we are just super hot. We're hitting
Let's go.
100 already. So
Ooh.
I am wishing I had a pool right now. I'm pretty envious of my quarantine friends with a pool.
Yeah. I think the warm weather sounds great, just period. But yeah, pool to boot would be.
I'm saying I need a pool too this season. I don't know how that's gonna work with quarantine. Hopefully it'll, or maybe I just find some friends, I don't know, that are available to lend me a pool.
You need a quarantine. That's a quarantine.
I know. Yes. So, you know, I looked at these strands and they're absolutely gorgeous. I thank you, by the way, for sending me multiples because I've got like several things that I want to design.
Yeah.
So beautiful. And so, of course, I've got kind of a good stash of this pink flat mesh. It's my company is called SilverSilk and More, and my product is this beautiful chain called SilverSilk, which is a machine knitted jewelry chain that comes in different lines. This happens to be the flat mesh, which is made with 8 needles that machine stitch and flatten this into a beautiful, very supple chain. And this one happens to be, of course, a great match with this beautiful strand because it's rose gold. So you know what? And I've not worked with flat mesh a whole lot because another one that I have is called capture chain. And I use that one so many times in so many different variations on my tutorials and stuff that, you know what, I want to kind of highlight this flat mesh. So with that, I've also got custom end caps that come with this particular chain, and it comes in different colors. This one I'm using gold because there's a lot of gold included in this gorgeous strand. And so what I thought I would do is assemble something with this. I don't really quite know what.
I'm so excited you're using the flat mesh, Nilay, because I have some here of the SilverSilk in the copper. and I haven't used it yet. So I'm excited to see you play with it.
Yeah, I've got a
I
couple.
also really like the flat mesh.
It's so fun, and it's you get 5 feet of it in the packaging, so there's a lot that you could do with it. But real quick, I wanted to show, I guess, a couple different ideas that I had. One, you could absolutely just string this, and I think I might do that on this shorter strand, just because it's just a beautiful chain, and I don't want to break up any of these gorgeous beads, because what you guys have done, Sarah, with your bead strands is that you've designed and done some of the work for me that I don't have to sit here and piddle with. And that's coming up with a awesome arrangement of beads that work so well together. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and use pink tourmaline. And this is Softflex Wire, which I'm a huge fan of and have had the privilege of working with for many, many years now, which is weird to say because I feel like I'm still young. But I guess I started early, right?
I feel so lucky to be in this awesome jewelry making industry with such cool products and amazing designers to go with them. You guys make our products come alive. You really do.
Yeah, you guys do a wonderful job of putting these strands together. It really makes it easy on us designers, for sure.
It does. Well, and that's funny because our motto at SilverSilk is we knit and you create. And for me to have another business that really does such a great job in doing the strand designs and the bead matching and everything, like you guys do that hard work up front so that I can really get to the fun assembly part of it. And for me, it's that instant gratification factor that plays into that other part of jewelry making, that wow, I've just created something out of nothing using all these different parts and pieces. Now I can go and enjoy and wear it.
You know, I was feeling the same way just like literally 30 minutes ago. I have a project that I'm getting started with. Kristen, you'll probably like this. I'm making a mandala using Jessie James.
Wow.
Yeah, using a Jessie James mix. I took 2 of them, so I'd have extra beads, but I separated them all out in their little friends and their little friends, and their little piles of matching beads with the friends. But I felt really grateful that there were all the beads that were there that actually went together. And I thought about incorporating another color bead mix with it, but I loved the style and the blend of beads that we put together in the little packet so much that I just was ready to let my creative senses rip with all the beads I had to choose from in that little packet, which was a lot. So
yeah. Well, color, putting colors together and it's tough work. I mean, it's hard to look at different things and like, does this work together? And that's why Jessie James beads and your mixes and stuff are so great, because you guys take the guesswork out of it. We can just add a little extra to what you've already put together and you're done. Same thing with Softflex trios. We put together the packs of multiple colors. So that, and today I'm going to be using our La Fleur colorway, which I've got pink tourmaline in here too, Nile. And SilverSilk, you do a great job with that with your kits. Oh, your Atlantis kit was fantastic.
I had fun with that one. It was an idea that I've had for like a year that I wanted to do, and I finally got to do it. And all of the magic kind of came through with all the different parts and pieces that I was gathering for a while, actually. And so it was quite a blessing.
Such a sucker for spirals and mandalas. So are you doing an art piece, Sarah James? Are you doing like a hanging art piece or something?
Yes, I have an embroidery hoop, and I have this piece of denim. I was given a pair of shoes for Christmas that all the packaging inside the shoes is material that you could reuse. So it was like stuffed with recyclable material, and then it was like wrapped up in this huge long piece of beautiful denim. And I was gonna throw it out. And my boyfriend was like, that's a great piece of fabric. You should keep that. I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll do something with it. And a week later, I have it pressed into an embroidery hoop and I'm starting to stitch the beads.
Wonderful. Oh, I hope you
So,
share
yes,
it with
anytime
everybody.
I will.
That sounds great.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too. That sounds like a fantastic project.
Thanks, guys.
I don't use beads in my art very often. Actually, one of the VIB members suggested it one time when I was drawing something to put it in the eyes, and I did that. But it's funny, I need to combine them more often. I can't wait to see what you make.
Oh,
Create.
thanks, I really love the look of mixed media. And I feel like a lot of our Jesse James bead designers, the people that are in Jesse James Secret Stash, that's our group here on Facebook, they're really good at mixed media. I think it's because the bead textures are so varied to begin with, and there's a lot of tassels, there's fiber, and there's glass, and there's metal, that it just kind of lends the brain to be sparked to do something a little bit mixed media like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Really fun.
So
what you doing down there, Nile?
Yeah.
Tell us a beady story, Nile. What is going on that design table?
Yes. Okay, I was just explaining this in my previous live video of like, and I think that is with the Atlantis kit is we could tell any sort of story we want with our jewelry. In the case of Atlantis, it was this sort of lost land that was once futuristic and had a thriving community and is now lost, and all these treasures are left behind. So it's funny like how we justify some of these I guess, I don't know, art elements into just a story that just is fun for us to believe.
Nile is really good at telling a story with beads also. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the kits that SilverSilk puts out, but Nile, are these kits, are they a monthly adventure that people can get in their mailbox? Tell us more.
At the moment, I think it's actually once every 2 months, actually, so bi-monthly. I'm inconsistent with it because I'm getting ready to transition into a very big thing that involves production of SilverSilk. And so I'm hoping to be regular as I move forward, but right now I think I'm just growing in different directions with my business. And so it's kind of scary, but also really good stuff happening. So I appreciate everyone being patient with the kits and the products and stuff. It's just, I think the quarantine also didn't help with the timing, but that's just life, and you gotta have to, roll with the punches.
I know that our friends have been super understanding of just taking things taking a little more time to process orders. Yes. And for that, we're so grateful because it's you guys out there that allow us to keep doing what we're doing here. So thank you for.
It's so true. I mean,
yes,
kudos.
We feel the same. I mean, we're all working under very different circumstances right now. So the patience is truly appreciated. And it's been so neat to see so much happening online and so many people sharing and creating in all of our groups. Because Softflex has the VIB studio, Jesse James Secret Stash, and Neely has the SilverSilk Silkies, and everyone is just exploding with creativity right now. It's exciting to watch.
I agree. Neely, that is pretty.
Thank you. This is really my instant gratification piece. As I was mentioning, you guys have the strands ready to go, and what I just did, I think, exemplifies that aspect of it. I will say that one other benefit to the strands is that if you don't want to use it as is, all of the beads match so well together. And so literally what I can do is just unstring everything and even mix it up, and hey, it just becomes an awesome mix together. So the question begs is, what do I do with it? Well, here's another idea with flat mesh that I love doing, and I think it's kind of fun for just the season that we're in. But I wanted to kind of revisit a technique that I had developed a while ago, where I turned flat mesh into a little flower. And I'm gonna
Oh.
actually incorporate this little blue tassel just because it's a fun, punchy color that I think goes with the soft pink.
Oh, is that a beaded
so
tassel?
it is. Well, it's actually a SilverSilk tassel because I used
Oh,
capture
love
chain.
it.
And yeah, I just glued it into a custom end cap and put these little terminators on it. So it's kind of a fun way to use my scraps, I think, that I had, and just do a little element, another component.
SilverSilk is, I think, one of the most sumptuous beading materials I have ever come encounter with. It's just like,
Yes, it's very,
is
very nice.
so slinky. Like, just to use, this is the capture chain. Nele's necklace that he just made a second ago is the flat chain, which is also just so delicate and beautiful. But this, like, the chain that has the ball
Ooh, there
chain
you
in
go.
it.
What's
Yes.
It
that?
has
The
a-
capture chain? Is that
That
what that
one's a
one is?
capture
It's
chain.
so
Yep.
fluid.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. And
Yeah,
I love
and
you.
as I'm,
Nele.
oh, thank you. Me feelings mutual for both of you, of course, of course.
This flat chain would probably make a really cool choker.
Ooh, I love
I've
you.
got
Yeah,
some here.
I didn't
I'm like,
think about that, but that would be a really fun project. Kristen,
Yeah.
I'm putting ideas into your.
It's like the 90s. I'm in.
I am doing a quick little wire wrap loop because what I'm thinking is that I can actually use, let's see, I think this bead cap probably won't go over. Yeah, that'll work. Is that your cat, Sarah?
It's not. No.
it's
Oh, it's
my
not.
dog.
Oh.
She's whining like a little kitty cat.
I love it. Okay, so
It's fine, like a kid.
I just went ahead and strung the bead caps and the beautiful little pearl that came on the strand over the wire. And I'm gonna take the remnant piece of my flat mesh and I'm actually just gonna slide it right down. Now this is, I think, one of the key benefits of this chain is that it doesn't fray and it's not going to dismantle on you as you're working with it. And so what I'm doing now is creating what I call the petals, and you can make this as giant or as dainty as you wish. Here, this is probably about an inch, give or take, of petal. And you basically just kind of keep going round and round and stringing it right through the wire. The size of wire that I'm using is the Softflex 22 gauge craft wire in gold. Again, just to be matchy with the rest of my components here.
This is so fun. I love when you get sculptural, Nele.
I do too. I do too. Nele, you are very, very good at that.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Ever since, I think that's one of the first interactions that I had with you before I even knew you in person was your new romantic book that you did featuring Softflex Wire. I actually think I have it right here in my desk. But Nele wrote this book and it's using Softflex Wire and it is just like the most sculptural, romantic, delicate pieces of jewelry. And I feel like the work that you do
super
with
gorgeous.
SilverSilk is right in line with it.
I appreciate that. I don't know what I was thinking at the time because I look back and I'm like, wow, this was complicated. But you know, there was a lot of thought behind each design and how to manipulate Softflex Wire to do what I did with it that I think added value to the book and added a different perspective. And so, you know, I'll look back on it and think like, wow, what was I thinking? But then someone else will pick it up and be like, wow, this is like, I've never seen anything like this before. In the case of
really
Scott and Mike, that was
inspiring.
the case. So.
If you guys are Softflex lovers, is that book still available, Nele? Is it still in print?
You know, I think it's actually out of print and one of those
if you guys
rarities
can
in life.
find it, oh, it's super inspiring.
I actually think.
Do you have some, Sarah?
I am wondering. I'm gonna check right now.
I actually have the old manuscript somewhere, so if I need to resurrect it, I can always do that via Kindle or something, I'm sure.
No, but you know what, Krista and I have your book, Seed Bead Revolution, and this is good. Coming next week, we are releasing seed beads at Jesse James Beads.
Whoa,
What are you
no
releasing?
way.
Seed
I didn't
beads.
hear.
We got a bunch of 11 O's. We're,
Oh
just
my
like guys.
gosh. You guys are
I've totally
awesome.
fallen in love
Card.
with seed beads.
I mean,
I have been using
like
seed beads.
I don't bead
More
weave
and
though.
more.
I don't use them as traditionally. I just kind of use them in my stringing projects. And that's what Sarah and I were doing when we did that book, is we just were trying to come up with ways that we enjoy using seed beads, but are a little more for simple stringing, you know? So really fun. Yeah, that's exciting.
I think so too.
And
I'm
you can
so
find
excited
our
for
book
you
is still
guys.
available on Amazon. It's called Seed Bead Revolution. And it's using a lot of 2-hole beads and all sorts of different seed bead shapes in just stringing projects.
Yeah, I'm excited to paw through that book. I'm excited to paw through that book again now that we're starting to carry the seed beads.
Awesome.
We're doing them in little trios, so it's all the same colorway. You'll get 3 greens, you'll get 3 neutrals, 3 pinks to give you like a range of colors to work with, without it being a seed bead blend.
Right. Very cool. Oh, I'm excited to see.
I am too. We've been talking about it for about a year, so it's finally coming to fruition now that we're, quarantined and coming up with cool, new, interesting things to play with.
Yeah.
I think, product innovation, you definitely don't want to alienate those customers that enjoy seed bead weaving, actually. And there's always new ways to use seed beads. And I've been trying to incorporate them more with SilverSilk and wire working, and it's so versatile. I think you're gonna have
I love how you do your
easy time selling
coils.
them.
You do a lot of coils and stuff with it.
I do, yeah. Coiling is fun.
See, bead weaving is just absolutely blows my mind. I think it's completely gorgeous, and I can't wrap my head around how to do it.
Honestly, I can't.
I have to watch
days.
YouTube videos of somebody else.
Hey, and you know what? No time like the quarantine present.
No time like right now. That's so true.
So true.
Nilay, let's see that tassel.
I know, it's looking amazing.
Here's what I've got going on. Like, I've got some turquoise colored Softflex wire that complements the what I've labeled as shoreline capture chain, meaning that it's a blue colored wire knitted over a gunmetal ball chain, and all complemented with a beautiful pink tassel that I've made using the flat mesh. That kind of gives a floral, I don't know, just something a little floral. You could kind of play around with these to make them even flip out if you wanted to.
Do you have a bead inside there?
I do, yeah.
Oh, you have the pink pearl, right? Is that what's in there?
Yes.
Oh, very cool.
With the 2 bead caps. So just a quick little like tassel necklace that you could throw over your head whenever you're ready to go. So I think that's my 2 pieces. I don't want to capitalize on our video time, so I could come up with a ton more. But
Nilay, you are
I want to get to you,
artist.
Kristen.
I know.
That tassel's so
pretty.
pretty.
That is the cutest thing. Bravo.
Guys, did you love that? If you did, just give Nilay a bunch of hearts, okay?
Yes.
Beautiful.
And I love how you just have like the Softflex going up the back, right?
So dainty.
It's an easy combination, I think, of all the materials. I know mixed media seems to be like a dirty word for some and a blessing for others. And so my take on mixed media is being able to combine really fantastic product with each other in such a meaningful and cohesive way. And this was my interpretation of it.
Really beautiful. I love it. I love it. And I will say, when you wear a really long necklace like that with a tassel and just have the Softflex wire, it's extremely comfortable. So if no one's ever tried it, I have a few pieces that I've had for years, and it hasn't kinked. It hasn't you know, messed up the wire at all, and it's super comfortable to wear.
So
like
flattering too, to wear a long necklace to tie.
Yeah.
It,
All right,
well,
let me
especially for a
turn,
bigger tassel, because that visual weight just wants to be pulled. It wants to pull your eye down. While you're doing that, I'm actually going to flip my camera back to my face.
Welcome back, Eli.
I'm going to wear my designs.
Yay!
There we go.
Oh, what's going on here? Oh, I see what's happening. I've got my tripod right in the center because I had to switch my thing around.
Take your time.
You can't really see it, so, well, here, maybe I can clip it, because I kind of want to show people.
Sarah Ellis and I were saying the other day how, you know, being stuck inside the house, it really helps to get up in the morning, get dressed, put on your clothes, put on your
That's so
clothes.
true.
It makes you feel good. I mean, maybe you don't do it every day, but to do it like a couple times out of the week, to really put on something that makes you feel nice. Put on a piece
Am
of
I gonna be
jewelry that maybe you
sideways?
just made. It feels good.
True.
Eli, I'm
So
actually
true.
wearing one of your necklaces, by the way.
Ah, which one?
Because should I get up closer? Okay, so it's this one with the cage beads.
Yes.
I would take it off, but it doesn't have a clasp, so it's
That's okay.
staying put.
I love
But
that you're
Nilay's
wearing
got
it.
this capture chain and seed beads and some craft wire wrapped around. I love this piece, Nilay.
Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sideways. How am I gonna fix this? I'm like, maybe.
Nilay, that piece is looking fab.
Thank you. I think it's a little bit, I mean, for me personally, I probably would want this one shorter.
Oh,
I
that
think,
would
and
be
if I'm
kinda
critiquing,
cool, like an underneath the collar, little.
well,
like,
yeah, actually, now that I'm looking at it.
zhuzh it up.
When are you guys gonna do like metal and wood beads for the dudes? I'm just saying, I would wear it.
I'm writing it down.
Are you making a note?
I'm making it down. We
I mean,
we're
I'll
in
be
the
happy to
process
sell
of
that.
we're in the process of tooling new metal right now, so I'll present that one to the next meeting. Metal and wood
I go
beads
this way.
for the dudes.
For the dudes, just one for the dudes.
All right, this tripod's a hot mess right now because it's in a totally different, trying to figure out how to get myself in a place where it makes sense.
I
told you it was
I
like,
feel you,
so
sister.
however it is. Yeah, you look good. We can see your hands.
you can see me. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And you can
pretty
see me like, I'm waiting to see. Okay, I think I'm in the right direction too. All right. Just took a little while. All right, cool. So yes, thank you, Sarah, for sending me 3 of these gorgeous strands to work with, because I had to cut 2 of them up to play with, and I was able to leave 1 here to show.
These are the strands that Jesse James Beads is in Walmart, and these are the strands that we designed for Walmart stores. So they had to be a little bit lower budget than our typical strands that we offer at Jesse James. Like typically our strands are like $10, $11. These guys are $6.99. So,
oh wow, they're
quite
really
a deal.
pretty.
thanks.
What
I think so too. Like it's the Jesse James design aesthetic that really pulls the whole
Exactly.
shebang together.
I adore, you know, I always adore these little cage beads. They're so fun. But I'm having a good time with these pearls today. I realized I was going to just string them, and then I realized they have all of these openings, just like the cage bead does. And so I wanted to play with that. And I just wanted to show you guys, Jesse James Beads puts together our mixes for the Softflex company kits. And this is the La Fleur kit, the one that, so this mix is available. It just launched yesterday online, and it perfectly matches this guy here. So I've been kind of playing with the both of them. I'll pull this out a little bit. But each month, Softflex company does a design kit Look at these cute roses. And Jesse James Beads is an integral part of our monthly kits. They always put together a gorgeous mix for us that includes things like tassels and like check glass kind of beads and metal
so much
beads.
variety in there.
Put a lot of check into the Softflex mix.
Oh, those are beautiful.
You did. Look at this sweet little mom bead. So perfect for Mother's Day. Even got these beautiful little flower lampworky beads.
Are those yeah.
I'm actually going to
I
pull
love
that one
those.
out because I'm using that. And then tons of little spacer beads. Like I'm using these silver spacer beads from the mix here. I like to mix metals a lot. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I have fun mixing silver and gold and coppers and gold. And I just think it's neat to do. They have these really pretty crackle pink beads. And while the LaFleur kit is sold out, that was last month's kit. We have a new kit, Amazon Princess, that is available now. And Jesse James did the bead strand as well as the mix in there. And you can still get this mix. We just launched this mix separately at softflexcompany.com. And I'm going to pair it with our LaFleur trios. So this we actually launched yesterday too. And it's the Softflex trio pack with the pink tourmaline, the bone, and the fluorite colors, all in the medium. And there's 10 feet of each that you get.
Like the fluorite.
So pretty. You know, I think this is one of your favorites.
Right now.
Like,
I don't use it as much as I should. It's such a gorgeous color.
It's like my signature. It's like my soul color. That's if my soul were a color, be that fluorite. I've used it so many times. I've used it for all of you.
I always love it, and I'm like, why don't I reach for it more often? It's just so beautiful. So I'm excited to work with it today. So I already got started here, but as you see, I liked how
I love that.
These had the little openings so that you can have all of the wire going through.
I am going to spotlight your screen so that we can get a closer look at what is going on here. Whoa, okay. That is fabulous.
That is so cool. I love how that incorporates all the different wires and the different beads together in such a great cohesive way.
They blend together so nicely. And so it's nice to have that fun little pop of extra color. So what I did, it's actually, let me pull this guy off here and show you what I did.
Guys, real quick, before Kristen gets into this, I almost forgot. We are going to do a giveaway of one of these strands. So if y'all wouldn't mind, share the stream and also leave us a comment and you'll be entered to win one of these strands that Kristen and Nile have been working with tonight.
Oh, how fun. I love that.
That's such a good idea.
What a great idea. Okay, so what I did is I cut about 24 inches of each strand of the color from the LaFleur trios. And then I am stringing them, through that bead just like that, in one direction, and then I'm picking another couple of holes to string the bone, so it's coming in through another spot, and then I'm picking a third spot, and I'm very haphazard about this part. So just sort of wherever it wants to go is fine with me, as long as they are coming in 3 different places and allowing that little peekaboo of wire happening.
That's such a smart idea to use those different spaces in that bead.
It's a perfect use for the trios, honestly. I love it. Really.
Thank you. And then I'm using one of these spacers. I can get putting all 3 wires through the spacer and then pulling that down so that it acts kind of like a crimp, but I'm just not going to tighten it up. I'm just going to leave it nice and loose and let it kind of float there. So next I'm gonna place one of these bead caps. And here's where I like to play with my mixed metals. So I've got a silver spacer, and then I've got a gold bead cap. And these are from the strand, the bigger strand. I love these bead caps, by the way. I think they're so sweet.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah,
one
I'm in
thing
love
I
with how
really
big
like
they are,
about
too.
Jesse James bead strands, and even the mixes too, is I don't buy bead caps on my own as often. And I really like to have that extra little design aesthetic there.
I think it's helpful too because you know that the bead caps are going to fit the beads.
Yes,
Like,
totally.
even if you take the strand and you break it apart and you do it in a different sort of organization, a different sort of design, you at least know that your caps are going to match the beads that they were nestled around.
For sure. So now this particular bead, everything is strung on all 3 wires. So it just sort of disappears in there, and then it allows me to open it up again for the pearl bead. And then I just take each strand and pick a little spot, go through.
Tony says that every time that she sees one of our companies do a Facebook Live, it really brightens her day.
Oh,
I love
Tony,
that.
thank you.
I love that so much.
It brightens our day too.
I was just about to say,
We
it's
love
like legit therapeutic just to watch you stringing these beads right now.
It is. And see, look, wires just like to be together because that one went through the same one. So let's
They
pick,
want to bead together.
they do. Oh, so sweet.
I love this design, Kristen. So is this going to be
Thank
a
you.
necklace you're thinking, or a
Yes.
bracelet?
You know, I was trying to decide if I wanted to do a bracelet or a necklace, but I think I like it as a necklace.
I think that'll be really great as a necklace.
Donna Martin Duval wants to know what color these wires are. Kristen, can you remind us?
Yes. So these are the 3 wires from the La Flor Trios pack, and they are fluorite, bone, and pink tourmaline. So those are the 3 together there. They go really well together. I'm so surprised we never put together a trios in this colorway before, because I was like, these are really beautiful together. And I don't think I ever used all 3. It's amazing to me that we can still come up with color combinations that we haven't used yet.
I love it.
I don't know how that happens. And then I'm going to end it with this beautiful lampwork bead from the mix.
So you're not crimping between each of those beads. You're just adding the spacer, huh?
I'm just adding a little spacer. Yeah. And this,
Wow.
oh, I just lost one.
That's okay. I got to pick up some findings off the floor later anyway.
Yeah.
So no, that's like.
So yeah,
Live
so in
video.
between here, I'm just using those little guys in there, and I'm not worrying about crimping. And I think it works because when you go from 3 wires back into 1 and then 3 back into 1, you're sort of creating a little tension there. And they stay in place. So I'm just going to crimp on the ends. And I'm trying to
what's
decide.
great about that too is it makes the design process go a little faster. Just you don't have to go back and secure everything. You could just kind of go straight to stringing and picking out your next bead.
Yeah, straight to moving on. I love when I can do things quickly and find little shortcuts like that. Have the appearance of so I'm trying to decide here. There's a couple of things you can do. We can crimp the end with a crimp and then just leave 1 strand up the back and connect that to our clasp. Or we can braid all 3. And I think that's what I'm going to try right now.
Wow.
But if you're braiding, you're going to want to use a large, oh, you know what? I could get away with a little guy here. When you're using crimp tubes, Softflex makes really strong, good quality crimp tubes. And it's really important when you're crimping. They're seamless and they're double the wall thickness of most. I usually use a 2x2 millimeter crimp with my magical crimping pliers. And you can get up to 3 strands in there. So if you're gonna go above 3 strands, you gotta move up to a larger crimp. But since I've got 3 here, I'm just gonna add this down here. And this is just gonna hold my beads in place.
Yeah, and I don't think I got to mention that on my part of my tutorial either, because I was using the same technique that you are with the magical crimpers, and I believe using Softflex crimps as well. So sort of in the same.
I love these magical crimpers. I know you're kind of new on the scene with them, Nile.
Yeah, I haven't been using them. Oh, it's so fun. Once you master the technique, it's you just fly by doing the crimping. It's great.
Yeah, I always like to tell people that there is a lot of muscle memory and there is a lot of like feeling if it's correct in the correct spot once you get comfortable with it. Do you feel that way too? Like you can just sort of feel when it's sitting in there properly?
Yeah, it definitely took a lot of practice, and I think Sarah Ayler coaxed me into using them because I had a pretty big aversion to them at first because I was like, this is just another gimmick tool. Like I don't want to be bothered with this. But then, you know, I think it was my 3rd or 4th time, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like going to change the scope of everything that I do because it eliminates a lot of steps, and it was quite an opening experience.
To crimp covers. I just can't do them. They just like fly off my beading table every time I try. So they really have helped my life in that way. And for those of you that haven't seen them, they are a crimping tool that has 1 notch, and you just sit your crimp right in the center of that notch. You give it a good squeeze and it'll pinch your 4 corners. And then you'll turn it on its side and you'll go around a few more times.
Yeah, and essentially what it's doing is making a ball, correct?
Yeah, it turns your crimp tube. I'll bring it a little closer once I finish here. It turns your crimp tube from a tubular shape into like a tiny little 2 millimeter bead. So you have more of a bead ending instead of the tube ending. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take my wires here, and I'm going to do a simple braid. Just taking let's see if I can, this is one of those things that you just do, and I don't always think about what I'm doing. So let me see if I can explain it. So I'm going to take my right wire under the center and take my left wire into the center, from left to right, just going underneath and into the center. Just like you would braid your hair. Same idea.
I suspect this would go pretty quickly too, just because I think when you get into macrame and stuff, you kind of want to make those other knots more precise and stuff, but you could do that with Softflex wire if you wanted to.
I do macrame with Softflex wire. I do just do the simple like spiral knot and square knot most of the time, but it works really well. If you know those knots or want to learn them, I've had a bunch of videos on the Softflex YouTube page with that. So when you're done, I'll probably just do one side up here. What's neat about this is you'll get
a close up.
The braided
like a confetti
texture,
of colors.
And you'll get a little bit of all of the colors, and it will be a little bit sturdier than just one strand, although I like one strand too. Sometimes you might want like a little bit thicker of a finish.
I think this is a great way to bring all those colors together into a singular rope.
Rosanna Bradford. Hi, Rosanna.
Oh, she loves to braid.
She is on the comments right now. Yes, she said that she loves to braid. And if you guys haven't joined Softflex's group here on Facebook, the VIBs, it's what is it called exactly? The group, Kristen? It's Softflex.
It's
Very important
Softflex
here.
Softflex VIB Studio. And
There
that's for very important beater studio.
And there are a ton of really great designs that customers just like you guys post there. So if you haven't yet tried out Softflex, or if you have some at home and need some inspiration, that is a very, very good group to hang out in. And our friend Rosanna that I was just talking about is a high posting member in that group, and she loves to do this braiding technique.
She's also a fan of SilverSilk too, so it's good to have the group share in each of the different products that we have.
They work so well together too.
What I'm going to do for the end here now is I'm going to use a mighty crimp. It's a 3x3 millimeter crimp tube. And that's because I've got 3 strands coming through, and then I'm going to tuck another 3 in. So I've got like 6 strands all together. Anytime you have more than 3, you got to go up to the larger crimp guy. And I'm just going to make a loop on this end. This is where my clasp can connect to. And I'm just going to loop that down. You can trim this down to 1 wire after you crimp it if you don't like the look of having all 3 on your loop here. And I'm going to use these guys, which are called a mighty crimper. So this looks kind of like your traditional crimper with the 2 notches, but it's larger specifically for these bigger crimps. So you place it in the back first, and you give it a nice little squeeze. It's going to create a divot, and then you're going to turn it on its side and place it in the front notch, which is called your rounder, and give it a squeeze. And then you're going to go around a few times. And that just helps to like cinch down your crimp tube and helps it to grab the Softflex wire a little bit. Softflex has a really nice thick nylon coating. And that when you go around a few more times, you're just helping the crimp kind of cinch down into it. And then you can trim off your ends. Be careful not to cut your braid using your flush cutter. Just go all the way to the end here. And now we've got one side done.
That is beautiful.
And then I'll just do the same thing on the other side and then add my clasp up at the top.
So cherry blossom spring.
It is very cherry blossom spring. I like it. For sure. Oh, I'm off camera. I'm used to having more space.
You know, and the funny thing is, if you didn't want to braid it and just somehow gathered all 3 strands up, it might be kind of fun to have them separate too.
Yeah, you could just kind of go like this as well, as long as you make sure to like give it a nice, you know, little smoothing out before you crimp it and put the crimp on there. This way all your wires stay nice and together. You can have a really nice, that would look really pretty also just on its own.
Yeah, and I think I would probably crimp the end of it before where the beads stop, and then crimp it again after, or at the top too, just so it stays extra secure.
Yeah, I think so. Otherwise you could possibly have your beads kind of fly up a little bit. So I would still crimp down here and then also crimp up here and connect to your clasp. So
very cool.
That was my one idea. And then my other idea was, and I'll just show you guys what this looks like, but I was playing with trying to do a multi-strand piece.
Oh.
Whoa.
And so
let's see it up close.
Woo, so this one,
pretty. I love that.
I know, I love these colors together. So this has the bone on the bottom, the pink tourmaline, and then the fluorite. And then this is a mixture again of the large Jessie Jane bead strand, and the LaFleur mix has like the little tassels and some of these other little beads in here. And these I did crimp in between. So I did it more like a traditional illusion kind of necklace. And then
Cool.
haven't decided how to do that yet. This is where bead stoppers are like so handy, because you can put them on there and just sort of play with your design before you're ready to crimp and make sure it all looks golden.
It's one of those like must have in the jewelry arsenal.
Yes.
Tools.
I think I actually think I'm going to show this one on the Free Spirit Beading episode on Monday. So every Monday you can find me on YouTube on Softflex channel at 12 p.m. Pacific time live. And I think I'm going to do this project with you guys on Monday and just show off all these beautiful beads once more.
Kristen, let me know before you're going live. Send me a text so I can share that with our crew, will you?
You got it, for sure. I'm trying to get better at like being ready ahead of time, but I'm just not really that great at it.
It's hard to do. Trust. I think
We're
you're preaching to the
spontaneous
choir.
bunch here. Spontaneous, okay here.
Totally
We know what it's
spontaneous.
Aw. And Nilay, please tell our fans, tell everyone watching where we can catch you again live here online.
Yeah, I do what I call Tuesday Toots, and Toots is short for tutorials. And so you can catch me every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Central on the SilverSilk and More Facebook page. And if you are not able to catch me, you can grab some sort of snack and turn on the YouTube and check out SilverSilk and More on there. And I've got all sorts of projects using both Jesse James beads, Softflex Wire. I use a lot of tiara casts because I love their products. I just love mixing and matching all the fun stuff with SilverSilk.
I'm so excited to give this a try, Nilay. So I've got this little cage bead on my mesh, on my flat SilverSilk sitting here. So now I'm going to have to play with this.
I love it. I can't wait to see what you make with it.
It's so pretty. It's just such a pretty product.
Yeah,
you guys are awesome. I
mesh.
can't turn myself back up because I turned my tripod so much. Turning it down that I'm not going to be able to get myself back up.
And you just put your head underneath it.
For real.
Oh, look, this was really fun. Kristen, I want to see your face and say goodbye. Detach your phone and just hold it.
You know what I can do? I can take it off maybe. Let me take it off the tripod altogether and see what happens.
Time.
There we go.
I do love that tripod, by the way.
Thursday.
It's very cool. It's I'm gonna be really close. Hold on. This tripod is awesome. But it definitely, I have it set up a certain way, and so to change it you have to like, here I'll give you a little sneak peek of what it looks like. Look at this guy. He's got like all sorts of little knobs and buttons.
Well, at least you could shape it in any direction that you want, and with a little bit of work.
Terminator tripod.
Yeah,
no,
that's right.
It is. It's like it's the best thing, but I think it's hard to manipulate when you're in video mode already.
I think you did great.
You did really good.
Everyone, I'm really glad we could pull this off today. You know, yesterday I was not able to get Zoom on this computer, so I'm glad that we could do this. Really awesome being able to share your incredible talent, both of you guys, with the Jesse James crew. So thank you so much for coming and spending some time with us today.
Oh, it was so much fun. It's my pleasure. I wish that Sarah could have been here with us today too, and hopefully she will join us on the next one we do together, because this was really, really great and I'd love to do more.
Absolutely. It was truly a pleasure, and I love spending time with you guys and our fabulous community out there of creative people, and to show them some new examples with some fabulous products.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much, everyone out there in internet land, for joining us here tonight on your Thursday night. Wherever your weekend takes you, stay safe, stay healthy, everyone, and send us messages individually if you guys have any questions about anything you saw here tonight.
Lots of love to you all out there. Thanks for being here with us all.
Here, Kristen. Hey, have a good night, guys.
Good night.
Bye.
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 Bye, Kristen.
Bye.
Bye.